Made it out of the snowstorm. Was exhausted last night shoveling. And then my wife is a much better Good Samaritan than me. So like halfway through our driveway getting finished, she marches over to the neighbors. So I'm like, they have kids in town and somebody's going to snow blow them. Why us? And I'm like, okay, well, now I can't not go help. So I go help. And then wake up this morning, go for my like morning run, which was tough enough in the slush. And then I'm like, I guess I got to dig out everyone's snowbanks this morning too. It's like exhausting. Oh yeah, it was so heavy. But yeah, it was horrendous. It was like there was ice chunks mixed with water, mixed with, I was just like, okay, thanks for showing up to work today. Yeah, and thank you on the live stream. I'm sure we all got hit by the snow. Most of our viewers on the live stream are here in Southern Ontario. So today we're going to talk about one of the most basic concepts in real estate and one that you can make a whole career out of. Over the last couple of years, sign calls have been felt like a little less important because listings have been flying off the shelf. Sign calls sometimes feel like an obligation because buyers are acting so frantic. They already have an agent, so they're calling, just calling the listing agent, like whatever. They're just trying to get some information. They're or someone's calling from out of town. You Toronto agents, if you're on the live stream, sending your buyers to call the Brantford listing agent, and then you drive down and do the showing. So they could feel like, oh my God, what's the point of this? But entire careers are built on sign calls. In fact, it's the fundamental. So today we're going to talk about it. And hopefully I teach you a few things that maybe you didn't know, but also hopefully just a little bit of a mind shift. I'm looking at you, our ISA here. We've shifted one of our advertising strategies, specifically here at the team, from advertising just the opportunity to search for homes to get info on these specific homes because we've got more inventory. So this is anyone who's running a team or has some listings up for sale. You're trying to generate inbound calls. And we didn't always have that opportunity over the last couple of years. It was list them, stack up the offers, sell them. Where's the sign calls, right? So there's going to be some interesting stuff to talk about here. I've moved my end of presentation to the beginning now, so we just get it out of the way. But we've just released the next kind of month and a half. This is only the next month of topics. So mark your calendars. Next week, we're going to be going back into goal setting, but a lot more tactical. We were talking about it from a high level. We've talked about it from a financial level. Now I want to talk about what is actually a good goal. Like, how do you actually set a goal, like put it into words so that it is achievable? It's not just an idea or really wishy-washy or something we just like commit to. Here on our team, we've been making more commitments. We've been typing them into a form starting last week. That word SMART is actually an acronym. So we're going to get into it. This stuff is like proven science research. Thanks to Carson for the topic suggestion. Appreciate it. Next week is March break for the kids on the 14th. So I'll be off that week. So get caught up on other things. On March 21st, if you have not read Never Split the Difference as a real estate agent, you should go out and buy it. All right? It should be in your library. I'm not saying drop everything you're doing currently, but it should be in your library. It is a masterclass on human interaction and getting what you want without it being a fight. Now, in this presentation, I can't read you the whole book, but I'm going to pick apart 3, 4, 5 of my favorite nuggets. And I'll tell you, there's about 20 to 30 in the book. Each chapter has multiple little moments. So I can't wait to show you that. On the 28th, I'm going to talk about something near and dear to my heart. The act and art of meditation. I'm going to go over some basics. If you've never done it before, this would be a great one. Or if you've done it a long time, maybe it's a little different perspective. Meditation is not just one thing, but it's something that definitely helps me. And then on April 4th, as we're getting ready for the busy spring market, remember, the busy market is ahead of us, not behind us, right? As we're all feeling a little like, really another snowstorm? Thanks a lot, right? But we want to get ready. If we're going to get these sign calls, we're going to convert them in buyers. We want our buyers to win. And it's not just going to be like the last 2 years, which was like, how much are you willing to pay? Right? Take out all your conditions and write the biggest offer, and then we hope and pray. There's a little more work, but the people who work hard as buyers agents win. It's not just going to be like a lottery like it's felt like the last 2 years. So we've got a big content schedule. I think we actually have, I sent you even more past April 4th. I just didn't want to bog the slide down. But thanks for those of you that suggested topics. I appreciate it. On March 30th, I'm speaking along with a whole other slate of speakers. It's an entire long day event. So if you're interested in getting out from behind the camera or out of the office and going down to a really amazing real estate conference, There's top industry leaders, there's CEOs, CFOs of companies, there's panels, there's all kinds of incredible stuff. There's lunch, there's like a vendor area to see all the hottest stuff, like a trade show. And I'm just one of the many speakers. So if you're interested in that, let me know. I think I was talking to Virginia. There is a little discount code for teams of this or people that know the speakers. So if you're interested in coming, let me know. And last but not least, before we get started today, our app is live. And a reminder that all of these session recordings are being posted there for free. You just have to have the app and you can go rewatch them. But also, the next thing we're working on is actually a creator community. So a place where those of us that are committed to making social media content, that are trying to put it out there to try to make more of a impression out there and build an audience, have a place to kind of learn and teach and grow together. Sure, there's going to be lessons, but it's more about supporting each other. So if that's something you're interested in, whether you're here in the room, those of you making videos, or you're watching on the live stream, feel free to download the app or reach out to me directly about that community launching soon. We're building taking a month to build a month of content to get it started, and then we're going to start inviting people into the creator community. So I'm really excited about that. Okay, there, I feel energized now. Let's get on to the presentation. I only have one question today. So what is a sign call? This isn't a trick question. Who wants brownie points today? What's a sign call?
Someone sees your sign and calls your number
Yeah.
and asks you a question about the house.
It's a phone call from my sign. Imagine, eh? We don't like to give really complicated names to things here in real estate. I just got to change my, I don't have my notes up here on the screen, so just 1 second. Okay, so it used to mean that's the very basic, and up until probably maybe 2008, 2009, that was 90% of sign calls. But now we actually use the word sign call to mean even more. So great, I'm not saying you're wrong, you were right. What else does sign call mean?
An opportunity.
Okay, more specific? You went real vague, so Michelle said opportunity.
Like a buyer opportunity.
Sure, yeah. What else could a sign call mean when we talk about it here in a training at a real estate team?
An inquiry from our website, realtor.ca.
Right, yeah, I think Ryan's getting the most kind of like direct definition I was looking for today. Michelle went super wide, Jen went super traditional with that, and Ryan, it's an inbound inquiry about some piece of information you have, okay? So we're gonna broaden it from someone phoning me from my yard sign. That's very traditional, that is one form of sign call, but I want us to think of today's training as not just that, because you might be sitting here going, but I don't have any signs, right? My phone number's not on any listings today. So you don't need a listing to get a sign call, is what I want you to remember, first of all, today. Now it means any inquiry about information you have, and that might be information about a property, information about a list of foreclosures, information about a pocket listing, information, you might have a reverse sign call, we'll get into this in a minute, where you are trying to drum up the buyer, right? I have a buyer, and the listings want to come to you. That's kind of like a reverse sign call. So this is what we want to think about. The difference is, they need something from you. They're asking you a question. That's what a sign call is. It's an inquiry. And why is that better than some of the other type of leads we get?
They're reaching out to you, like they're making the first move.
Yeah, it's not cold. It's very warm. They have their hand up and they're saying, please answer something for me. Provide me something. So what do you have to do with that? Just do it, right? Some of the other times we're like, okay, what do I do with my sphere? I don't know how to talk to them, what I'm going to say. What about these people that came to our event? They don't need anything from me. I go door knocking. These people don't need anything from me. A sign call is begging you for information. Sounds a lot easier, right? That's why we want them. These are the warmest leads in the business, right up there maybe with people that walk into your open house. Okay, so we talk about sometimes that lead funnel, and we think, where are the urgency and quality of these leads? When it comes to someone just browsing our website or just downloading or following us on social media or something versus asking you a specific question about something you know about, this is a really good lead. So we want more sign calls. Oh, that's my next slide. Very good leads. They're usually serious too. Think about in today's day and age, how much effort it takes to actually inquire. We hunt, right? People are going on Google, they'll go to 3 or 4 websites. If someone actually reaches out to you by phone, email, text, social DM, they had to put some effort into that. They want a reply. So they're like begging, they're sitting there waiting. Please, talk to me, become my agent. And the best part is you have something that they want. So if they're coming to you for that, they already perceive you as the gate for their information, or the consultant, the gatekeeper, right? You're already in a position of authority when you're reaching back out to them. These are really high quality leads. Anyone want more sign calls now that I've described them like that? Just me? Me and Ryan. Okay. Nobody else. That's fine. Ryan, this presentation's for you, brother.
I'm excited.
Okay. So we have buyers and sellers, remember. Buyers are inquiring about our listings, but guess what? Sellers are also inquiring about our listings because they're doing research. Hey, has anyone other than me got a phone call saying, hey, what did that house sell for? Right? Hey, I saw your sold sticker. So we want to also know that when people inquire as buyers, they are also sometimes sellers. Everyone but first-time buyers, right? This is one thing to really remember, those of us doing a lot of web lead generation too. Almost every person who is a seller starts looking as a buyer. They present themselves as a buyer because they don't go looking for how to sell my home 101. They go looking at properties, they inquire about their neighbors' sale prices and all this stuff. So don't think too that this is just a technique for generating buyer leads. This is a technique for generating leads. And then of course, we're gonna qualify them and find out, are they buyers or sellers? Okay, so the first, thank you, Jen, are our actual signs, right? And we kind of have three types of signs out there. We've got coming soon signs, for sale signs, and sold signs. This seems kind of basic, but coming soon signs are actually pretty new. They didn't exist in our whole career. And they became more dominant when the market was moving so fast. So which one of these signs would you rather get a call on?
No preference. Coming soon.
I love it. I don't care. Phone me. Yeah.
I like the coming soon.
Yeah. So coming soon, why?
Because they're usually like eager to get the information, I feel like when it's for sale, it's already been for sale for quite some time. Like the coming soons, the calls that are right away are usually eager buyers.
For sure. Yeah. I agree. I think the coming soon one, it gives you the most authority as the agent to respond because you have the information. It's not out there on MLS. They can't go Google it and hunt it down and go around you. They can't even call another agent. If it's a coming soon and you've got it kind of locked up, then they have to call you. So this is why coming soon advertising became so dominant as soon as everyone caught on. It's also why, realtors ruin everything. So that's why our real estate board has to step in and make rules around coming soon. You can't have them up for a month and stuff because everyone realized how important these ads were. If someone's inquiring about your coming soon, please treat that like gold, right? That should be a massive opportunity. We should be speaking to 100% of those people. We're going to talk about follow-up in a little bit. Next, I would say for sale is the next most important because those people are really looking for information on that house. If they've taken the energy to reach out to you, they could have just went to realtor.ca. They could have gone to our website or 100 other realtors' websites. They could have just tried to type that address into Google. They could have gone around you. So they've made some effort for whatever reason to reach out to you. We want to treat those like gold too. And then sold, I would treat them a little differently, right? Sometimes it's a buyer just wanting to know what it sold for, but usually it's a nosy neighbor if you're getting a sign call on your sold. How long should we leave our sold signs in yards for?
6 months.
More specifically?
As long as you can.
Till closing date. I agree, right? Now you got to balance how many signs you have and everything, but if you're not running out of signs, I set sign pickup date to be like 2 days before closing. That's an advertisement of I did my job, and it gives everyone in the neighborhood who's driving by that every day that reason to reach out to you and ask, hey, how'd you do that? Can you do it for me? Okay. Next, we want to think about not just signs, but advertisements, right? So 2 main ways you can advertise. Number 1, advertise your own listings. But second, you can advertise any listing you have permission to advertise. Now, we're lucky here on a team, and I know there's a lot of people from the Scott Benson team on the live stream, but you have permission to advertise all of your team's listings. So that's one of the powers of being on a team. But you also, with the right permission, have permission to advertise almost every listing on the MLS. You just got to do it the right way, right? Make sure you're giving credit to the listing agent. If you're using an IDX website, you're already allowed. You can post any one of those listings. So you got to make sure you're following your local board rules, but don't think, oh, I don't have a listing, so I can't get sign calls. You can. But we can also get sign calls from other types of ads. We can send out flyers, right? Doing all those postcards to the neighbors. That's trying to generate inquiries, right? It's not just I'm going to put my face out there and hope they remember me. And when we think about that, we might write the card differently. We might have a real call me for blank Here's my number. Like half the card should be like that, right? Not just like, oh, I hope they remember me one day and pass me in the street or say hi to me at the grocery store. We're like, I want someone to inquire. That's the point of these ads. We can make print ads. We can make online ads. Back in the day, when I got started too, very little online advertising. People would just put little ads of classifieds, list of foreclosure homes, list of homes with pools, text this number, phone this number, right? Everyone's trying to generate an inquiry one way or another. Hello, Poppy. Okay, some more ones that are a little less, intuitive, but letters to homeowners, offers for different types of lists of homes, and not one specific home, but homes in a certain school district, homes near golf courses, homes with pools, right? These also can generate inquiries. Who would respond to a list of homes with pools? Someone who wants a house with a pool. It's a pretty straight connection, right? So it's like, what type of client am I looking to attract? Obviously, for your listing, you want a buyer for that listing. But if you're doing a different marketing strategy, you think, I would love to sell homes in this neighborhood. So I'm going to have Brantford luxury homes, right? I'm going to make a list of my favorite luxury listings, and you can stay updated every month. I'll send you the best luxury listings. Now you're getting people who are raising their hands saying, I want to buy a luxury listing. We can have guides, reports, right? Here on the team, we have the How to Sell Your Home guide. Over my career, I've made seasonal ones, how to sell your home in the winter, how to sell your home in the spring. You're getting someone to raise their hand and inquire, can I have that? You have something I want. So they could want the price of a home, or they could want the information you have on this guide. They could want your playbook, all these things. The number one, this isn't even in my slide deck, but what's the number one thing we offer everybody as an ad to attract sellers? Would you like a home evaluation, right? Oh my God, for like 20 years. We could get better at that, but it still works, right? Here on our team, we do contests and events. Again, those people are inquiring, and we, follow up with them. Now, they already had something we got, so they're not as strong. I still think the coming soon ad is one of the best we can do. Okay, number one tip. I actually heard Chuck Charlton say this, but he was here for an hour the other day, so it might have been missed in all the little nuggets he was dropping. But he was saying on their team, one of the main mindsets is if you're receiving a sign call, what we want to do as service people is we want to jump in. I have the answer to that, right? Hey, what's the price on 123 Main Street? I know that. Send it to them. I'll feel good, right? They'll say, thank you, interaction over. But if we come from a place of the thing they're asking for is not actually the thing they want, you're going to get a lot more prepared to actually get a client out of the interaction. Because now you're trying to provide them more value, not just answer one question. Does that make sense? So whenever you get an inquiry, you got to shift. It's almost an opposite mindset. Instead of saying, my job is to answer this question, you got to say, assume that I answer the question and they are no, right at that moment. I give them the information that disqualifies this house or disqualifies the thing they wanted. How can I be prepared for that and actually want to keep this person as a client, not just a one interaction and done? That makes sense? Good. I think I'm getting some head nods. That was tip number one. We're going to lock that one in for today. Assume the thing they are calling for is not the thing they really need. This is going to help you. Phone calls still matter. If someone takes time to pick up and dial your phone, a few things to think about today. What is your hello like if I phoned you right now?
Hello, Michelle speaking.
Yeah, same. Just not Michelle.
Yeah? What's the next line after that? Hey, Michelle, I need so and such and such, and then there is probably no other line, right? You're just like into the conversation. Yeah. What does it say if I called your voicemail right now?
I can tell you.
Maybe a good one to listen to today. You hope they get a good first impression, especially if they're are we encouraging them to leave a message? Does it say, don't leave messages here, text me? Does it let them know they found the right place? Hey, this is the personal voicemail for Jeff Thibodeau. I'm your local real estate broker. Sorry I couldn't get your call right now, but leave me a quick message and I will get your answers right away, right? We want to encourage them. We don't want, if you're getting a lot of call in and people aren't leaving your voicemail, you might want to change your voicemail message. Just think about that. And also another idea, we have the ability to do this in our CRM. So if anyone's interested in it, you can set up virtual numbers or multiple phone lines. They're all going to ring to the same place, but by setting them up that way, you could actually track. You could put a certain phone number on a certain ad, a certain phone number on a certain flyer, a certain phone number on a certain sign rider. And that way, as it rang in, you would already know what they were inquiring about. Or you could set up different voicemails for those different inboxes, right? So just some like little more advanced stuff to think about. But we really want to be prepared that if someone's going to take their time to inquire with us, that we're going to respond to that right away. On the other side, on our text DMs too, there are technology nowadays that you can set up autoresponders. Most of our social media platforms, you can set up an auto answer email. Now make sure it's contextual, it's not annoying. Or you can just be committed to getting back right away. Please, please, please. I didn't even put this in the slide, but if someone DMs you and you can't answer it right away and tell them you'll answer them later. But it's a fast medium, right? If I text somebody and I get nothing back, I'm texting somebody else in an hour, right? I need at least acknowledgement. Hey, I got your message, just in meetings for a couple hours, I'll get back to you at 3. And then they'll be chill and you've almost got them as a client. But if someone DMs you on social or they email you, they want a fast response. A day is not a fast response. How quick do you expect a text message back? 5 minutes, yeah.
I see those 3 dots on the phone.
Yeah, right? You know what the worst is? If you text somebody, then you get the 3 dots, then the 3 dots go away, and then that's the end of it. You're like, what? What did you do?
That happened to me this morning, and I was like, what were you going to say?
Yeah, you're literally just staring at the phone disappointed, right? So just make sure you acknowledge, hey, I got your message. This is, in online leads, this is like, we call it an autoresponder, right? And a well-written one can actually increase your conversion rate. If someone inquired about their home value, we'd write back, and I would write them in very conversational tone, right? They're not all flashy. It would say, hey, it's Jeff. I got your message about the value on 123 Main Street. Just want to let you know I'm going to work on it as soon as I'm back at my desk. But before I get started, have you made any upgrades? Write me back, Jeff, right? Almost 50% reply rate from that one, and then we're talking. They weren't like these ghost emails. So thinking about these little interactions that they're going to take the effort to reach out to you, then it's on you from then, okay? They're not going to reach out twice.
The write me back at the end is something I kind of stole from you because you say it all the time, and actually I find it makes a difference.
Yeah, you gotta end them, give people a clear instruction at the end of every message, right? Write me back. Write me back either way. You know the old like, you guys, I'm gonna date myself, but you fold the note up in class, right, and pass it?
Check yes for one, or
Yes, no, maybe, will you date me? Don't be scared, right? Even if they say no, remember, we're salespeople, the call's not over. You're just gonna keep going, but you get, what you want is a reply, not a ghost. Getting ghosted is the worst. Okay, so all my youngins in the room, your only goal with an email, text, or DM is to get it upgraded to a phone call. You are a professional salesperson with your voice, not with your thumbs. The more you believe this, the more successful you will be, okay? You're like, but I like texting. Yeah, that's because calling's harder. That's why you like it, right?
I don't know what to say. Sorry, off topic.
It's fine, go for it.
I need time to think about what I'm going to say before I say it. I don't know.
Yeah, that every time you do that, though, is the chance for you to get ghosted. You cannot get ghosted on a phone call, okay? You're a professional salesperson. What you want to do is take the soonest opportunity to get off the texting and emailing and get into a phone call. That's where you provide your value. That's where your personality shines. That's where your tonality is. That's where you can actually help someone. If you feel like the lead is better at conversation than you, it's time to get to work and practice, right? You should be 100 times better than a member of the public at having a real estate conversation. If you're intimidated by them, practice, 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 practice. This is the script. This is the only script you need. Okay, this is a variable. You're going to put whatever it is in here, but you acknowledge I've got what you need without saying the answer, and then you say, what is the best number and time for a quick call? Most people will say right now, right? No one's going to give you a different number. You're already on the number. This is a loaded question, right? They'll say 5 minutes, this number, call me tonight, whatever. If they say, oh, can you just text to me? I could, but it'd be a lot easier to explain this over a conversation, right? You don't fight. It's not no, you must speak to me. It's, yeah, of course I could, and I will. I just had a few more questions for you. It's way easier for us to chat for 5 minutes. When's good for you? You do it in a polite way, right? But if you don't put that gate up, and you just you send them back the information, that's probably the last interaction you're having. And you're like, please, I hope they like that, and they're going to pick me later as a client. It's not going to work, right? And remember, we're giving up some of the best leads in the business if we act like that. This piece of advice here should be memory point number 2. What was number 1? Does anyone remember? Oh boy.
Oh, they don't know what they're...
Yeah.
The buyers that call you generally don't know what they're looking for. It's not what they want, is what they're calling.
Right. Assume the thing they're asking about is not the thing that they really need, so you're ready to come from a place of value. And number 2 is upgrade all non-phone calls to phone calls as soon as possible. Okay. Mistake number 1. Most agents don't do this. You can stand out so easily by trying twice. Even if they don't text you back, text them again, right? If you don't get them on the first phone call and you leave them a voicemail and think, oh, they'll call me back now. No, they won't. They're going to call somebody else, right?
I have someone, sorry, I keep interrupting you. I have someone that has been ignoring my calls repeatedly. I reached out to him over Facebook. We got text and he keeps texting me back now and I just keep messaging him. It just like, it went from they ignored me to I put them in my thing and I reached out and now I got them.
100%. Do not think of these as one and done opportunities. If someone is an inbound lead, they go into your CRM, you follow up with them until they say, stop following up with me, or you turn them into a client. We're not like, well, they called me, I called them back once. If they're really interested, they'll call again. No, they won't. They'll call one of your competitors who will do their follow-up. Okay? And you're giving away one of the best lead sources in the business. I promise you most of your competitors won't do this. So just make sure you have a process for when things are coming inbound to you, you get them over into your CRM so you remember to follow up. You're not going to remember if they go down to page 3 of your outbound text messages, right? They got to get over there, reminder, right? Okay. Here's the mindset of the callback. Number 1, remember, we already staged this all up. They're asking you questions. You're already coming from the authoritative place. It's your phone call. You got to have that mindset. Sorry, my notes are overriding my slides, so I got to keep looking back. Number 2, you're in control. So we have our gentle intro. Hey, it's Michelle. Right? And it's like, this is where we need to work on our skills, okay? Because again, if you say, hey, I see you called, you're looking for the price on my listing at 123 Main Street, and they go, yeah, what is the price? And you go, it's $6.99, and they go, thank you, goodbye. What's your follow-up call going to be? Hey, we talked yesterday, I told you that price, right? Like, so what we have to do is we have to delay gratification, okay? Just like the text, I have what you need, when's the best time to call, the same thing with the conversation. You acknowledge, hey, yeah, I'd love to answer all your questions about this property. And what's our magic script, right? We're going to give you a couple of them here. But you just pivot before you give the answer. You acknowledge, you're talking to the right person, I've got everything you need. So, tell me more about your situation, right? So, you're thinking of moving. And actually have an entire screen. Don't get overwhelmed. I'm just putting this up here to show you it's easier than you think, the next screen, okay? You're probably not even able to see it back there. There's 500 questions. The point is you got to ask one, right? Tell me what interests you about the home. Where do you live in the neighborhood? How soon are you thinking about moving? You have to initiate a conversation instead of a ping pong game of question and answer with the person, right? This is where we all get tripped up. It's like, oh, how many bedrooms was that listing? 3. And then we're like, give me another one. I'm good at this. I'm really good at answering questions about my listing. What else you got? Square footage? You want square footage? Yes, the basement is finished. Yes, it's in a good neighborhood. No, we have to be in charge of the conversation. The person asking the questions is in charge of the conversation, right? So have these ready. Have 100 questions ready. If you don't have 100 questions in the top of your head, I literally found this by Googling buyer callback questions last night, okay? I didn't write all these. This is a cut and paste. And you can do the same thing and print these out, right? But the point of this is these aren't any magical things. This is just one website I found yesterday. We want to keep going with our questions so we can find an opportunity to serve the person, add some value to the conversation. If you're just answering the questions, you're no better than realtor.ca, right? You're just a verbal realtor.ca for them. Unless it's a coming soon, then they can only get it from you. Okay, give the info, ask some questions, right? This is the other one. Some of us have trained one-on-one on this. I know we have. But we got to play verbal volleyball, right? So don't answer a question and pause. Answer a question and keep going. That is not your period. We need a comma and a question. There can't be an end. There's no period. Yeah. It's a fun game. You can play it. Someone says 3 bedrooms. Oh, how many bedrooms is that? You say 3. Does that work for your family? Is that the number of bedrooms you were looking for? Why is 3 important to you? Is 3 important to you? Right? Is 3 enough for you? And then again, we're getting the questions going. If they ask a question, you answer it, and you just wait for another one. One of those is going to end on thank you, goodbye, right? And you haven't done anything to change. And think about it from the other side. You're not going to go through, if you're doing that to another company, you're just calling up to say, call Bell this afternoon and get their cell phone plans, and you're just like, how much is it a month? Can I have 2 phone lines? Will you give me a discount on internet? Thank you, goodbye. right? You're not like, oh, that person was so great. They were memorable. I want to call them back. It's not the thing you'd want from another person. You'd want someone to understand your needs. Oh, maybe I can get you a better plan. Why are you interested in cell phones anyways, right? Okay, so I'm just going to go back to these 2 slides to reiterate them. Remember, this part, we don't breeze over this. We want to acknowledge, you're talking to the right person. I have everything you need. You can even, and this is a real one, you can even stall because you don't have the information in front of you. Let me just look that up. Or let me boot my computer up. I just got to log into the MLS and get you that. But don't go dead silent for 30 seconds while you're clicking on your keyboard. While you're logging into MLS, you start asking questions, right? They know it. So that's another acknowledgement. I'm about to get you what you need. Let's just chat for a sec, right? It's right over here. Don't worry. I don't bite. Then we're going to open the question, and we know these from our qualifying conversations, but then we're also going to play a little verbal volleyball. If you're answering a question, make sure you follow it up with another question. Okay. This is a great one. So at some point in the conversation, we want to pivot to try to become their agent, right? Or provide them a little value. This question has really worked well for me. What's the answer to this question for a sign call? Of course it's yes, right? They're doing it right now. So it's like a magician's question, right? You know the answer. If they say no, it's like, oh, interesting. What made you call me? Right? Like, and if they say yes, you're like, oh, that's strange. So you don't have anyone specifically helping you search for homes? Weird, right? Man, I can't believe you're doing this on your own. So it doesn't matter what they answer to this question, right? It's yes or no doesn't matter. So this is one of these pivot questions where we're going to move from the qualifying to actually like, hey, I have something here. You're not getting what you need, whether you have an agent or you don't, because you're calling me direct. So some part of your experience isn't going well here. You should have someone like me giving you all this information all the time and holding your hand through the process. That's what I do, right? And I want to offer that to you. Another one, obviously they don't have this. Otherwise they wouldn't need to call you, right? They might not even know this exists. Has anyone given you direct access to the MLS? What do you mean? Well, I find when people are calling me, it's usually because they're driving by signs or they're hunting down properties online. Did you know you could get the same access to MLS that I have every day? Real time, you can see every single piece of information, and you only have to call me if you want to see a house. I can set that up for you. If they say yes, you're like, weird, why aren't you using that? Why are you calling me instead? Something's broken here, right? It doesn't matter if they say yes or no to these questions. But you're trying to uncover what's going wrong in their process that they reached out to you. It's a gift they did, but if they had an agent that was actually doing their job already, they wouldn't be phoning you, right? So you have an opportunity to step up and become their agent. Here's our little like extra level one. Maybe they do have an agent. Oh yeah, my cousin is a realtor in Toronto. Oh great, are they searching for off-market homes here in Paris for you? No, I didn't think so, right? So we can start adding a little more value. Next one's one Ryan loves. Hey, I got a few more just like this. I can't tell you about them. They're secrets, right? I don't have the contract signed yet, but I was just at another neighbor's house in that neighborhood last week. They're thinking about moving. Would you like me to call you back when it's ready, right? I've got what you need, right? I'm better than everybody else. Lots of reasons. Okay, so once you get into rapport, we're going to shift to qualifying questions. And then obviously you're going to close. Once you understand what they need or where they're at in the process, we're going to meet them where they are, right? Sometimes that's going to be, let's go out for a showing. How about I book 2 more for that day? Why don't you come in for a discovery day? Hey, maybe we should sit down for a planning session and go through the MLS, see everything that's on the market. Have you been pre-approved for a mortgage? I'd love to get you connected with our mortgage broker. So you're going to open the question, pause, I got what you need, start getting into qualifying, right? Keep it going, build some rapport. Just like a regular old qualifying question, our qualifying process, once we identify where they are, we meet them where they are, give them something they need, bingo, you're working with them. Does that make sense? These are the best quality leads in the business. Okay, final tip, and this is not for us because we already have this built in, but this is for people watching on the replay or the Zoom. One of the easiest things you can do as a new agent or an agent without any business is go get other people's sign calls. And you don't even need to advertise them. Believe it or not, most top producing agents don't even want sign calls, right? They have enough, they've put their time in. They have enough inbound listing business that they don't even care to answer these. Another inquiry on my listing. Wouldn't it be great to be at that spot of your career? But believe me, there's tons of these agents out there. So we can go to these agents And you can offer, hey, why don't you send them all to me? I'm going to hunt them down. I'll sell your listing and I'll even document it all and I will kick you back a referral, right? You would gladly all day kick an out-of-town agent a 25% referral if they sent you a piece of business. Why not do the same thing for an in-town agent? So there are tons. Look for people that have been 10 plus years in the business, have a consistent listing funnel. They do not want their sign calls, I promise you. They would happily hit forward Michelle, forward Kara, right? We kind of have this built in already on a team. Many teams with like a top superstar agent are built solely on this, that the top performing agent on the team doesn't want their sign calls, so they have buyer's agents, right? This is how teams are formed. So remember, there's sign call opportunities everywhere. Okay, let's recap really quickly. We're going to wrap it up. Number one, the goal here is to generate inquiries. We want warm leads. We want hands in the air, someone asking you for something that you have. Number two, we want to make sure that we follow up by phone, no matter how the lead came in. You can respond by text, but remember, once you get the conversation going, tell them, I keep looking at you because it's your first day here. You're not, no license yet, but this is all valuable stuff. Okay, generate inquiries, connect by phone, get the conversation going, and if you don't get it going the first time, keep them in your CRM, keep trying. They tell you, oh, never mind, I don't like that house, put them in for a call back next week. Hey, it's Jeff calling you back. We talked last week about this house. I know it wasn't for you, just seeing, are you still searching for a home, right? They're gonna remember you better on the second and third call, but if you think of these as one and done, they're gonna be more and more expensive to generate the next one. These are literal gold mine. Make sure that we pivot into a qualifying conversation and you take over. You're not just answering and being silent, answer, be silent. And then repeat this process as many times as you can make the inquiries happen. Okay, thanks a lot, everybody. I think sign calls will be a major part of the business. For a lot of us that have been newer to the business, again, you haven't seen the value in these because they've seemed, oh, what's the point? They all have an agent already. They're just calling me because their agent's not doing their work. I promise you, in the more traditional market that we're going to have this year, there is tons of gold available when you can get the phone ringing or the DMs coming in on your listings. So for our team, get out there and start posting all of the crew's active listings, right? They're going to DM you, they're going to call you. We've shifted a majority of our in-house budget to shift away from people setting up search accounts to inquire specifically about our listings. And we're running ads every single day where they're saying, I need info on this house, right? This is the foundation of real estate. Thanks a lot, everyone. We'll catch you next week.